with 9 felonies, including rape, sodomy, kidnapping, assault, and endangering the welfare of a child. Those charges remain the same. The new charge is for the murder of Janie Crosdale. Specifically, that between June 6, 2022 and October 7, 2022 in Clay County, Missouri, the defendant, after deliberation, knowingly caused the death of Janie Crosdale by an act of homicidal violence. Murder in the first degree is an A felony, and the range of punishment for that offense is either death or imprisonment for life without the eligibility of probation or parole. The court set the defendant's bond at $5 million. We became aware of the facts of this case beginning on October 7, 2022, when the defendant's surviving victim was able to escape captivity from the defendant's basement. Since that day, the defendant has remained in custody. Investigators from over 16 law enforcement agencies have worked together pursuing over 100 leads and reviewing evidence. I commend their hard work on this case. During the investigation, over 100,000 photo and video files were recovered, and investigators have been spending countless hours reviewing them for relevant evidence. Today's indictment represents the next step in our pursuit of justice for the victims, the families, and our community. The physical, psychological, and sexual torture described by the defendant's surviving victim is brutal and barbaric. When crimes like this occur in our community, it can be devastating. So I want the citizens of Clay County to know that the men and women of the Clay County Prosecutor's Office are working hard inside and outside the courtroom and doing everything we can to keep them safe and deliver justice. Our work continues. And I would urge anyone who knows anything about this case to contact the Excelsior Springs Police Department. With that being said, and understanding this is an open and pending case, I will answer a few questions.
So you believe Crosdale was killed before the person escaped?
Correct.
And do you think there are other victims, like the witnesses stated, that Timothy had told them that there were multiple people who were killed previous to the escaping?
So today's indictment represents all available charges with the facts and evidence available to us, right? The surviving victim did mention that the defendant stated he had killed 2 people, but today's charges represent everything we can charge with the available evidence.
Is one additional charge more than the 9 that were already existing?
Correct. The 9 original charges are the same. The only additional charge is the charge of murder in the first degree.
How do you believe that somebody got to the came to know Janie Crosdale?
Well, the evidence is that Janie Crosdale had previously been arrested for commercial sex work, and that is how they came in contact with each other. But I want to say to your question, right? In Clay County, regardless of who you are, how much money you have, what the color of your skin is, everyone is entitled to equal protection under the law.
To you, what stands out most egregious about this case?
So my goal in this case, like every other case, right, is to find justice inside the courtroom. So I will save all those comments in the presentation of that type of evidence for Clay County Court.
Mr. Haslett suspected in any other crimes of violence at this time?
Well, so the probable cause statement indicates, right, that he had told his surviving victim that he had taken the life of 2 previous people, right? The charge we have right now for murder for Janie Crosdale represents all available charges that is possible considering the facts and evidence we have.
Can you clarify the probable cause statement described Ms. Crosdale being some kind of projectile? Is that what she shot, or what does that mean in everyday terms?
So the autopsy done indicated that there was perimortem wounds, which means at or near the time of death, right? They describe those as high impact. There is evidence that the barrel where Miss Crosdale's remains were found, that it was shot. There appears to be blood in the barrel.
You think she was shot from the barrel possibly?
Well, the evidence indicates, right, that her remains showed impact wounds consistent with a gunshot.
Does this new charge move folks into the step of justice? Lots of communities about this case. A lot of people are looking for justice.
I think the takeaway from this case is the fact that law enforcement officers from over 16 different agencies investigating this case, and we're able to bring the next step for justice for the victims, the families, and our community.
And when is the next day for trial? Where are we?
So the court would have set a date. I can get that information to you for the next court date. Our victim advocate has been in communication with Ms. Crosdale's family. I don't want to speculate as to what their emotional state is at this point.
If there's time for just one quote, what's the main thing you want people to hear when you hear about these just offenses and charges?
I think that the takeaway, right, is that law enforcement agencies in Clay County, the Clay County Prosecutor's Office will work hard to protect you, and it doesn't matter where you come from or how much money you have in the bank or what your job is. You deserve equal protection under the law. It's me.
I know you had originally said already that he told the surviving victim about taking the life of another person. Are there any leads on whether there actually are additional victims at this time, though?
So this remains an open investigation. To that point, I would ask anybody with any kind of information about the case, please reach out to law enforcement and share that information. But it remains an active investigation.
And reiterating, you were able to connect Haslett to Ms. Crosdale through DNA evidence as well.
Well, so Ms. Crosdale appears on a still image taken from Mr. Haslett's electronic device, showing her inside his basement. An SD card depicting the individuals connected to Ms. Crosdale was found inside his house, and he made statements to the surviving victim that he'd taken someone else's life. And Ms. Crosdale was also found in a blue barrel of the same manufacturer as the ones found at the defendant's house.
Were there any other, besides the surviving victim and Ms. Crosdale, people shown inside his basement?
So this remains an open investigation, right? So, but I can say that the indictment today represents all available charges relevant to the facts and evidence we have today. If there are no more questions, I thank everyone for their time.